day everyone, especially to Ma'am Marimar R. Dante. I am Krystle Campos.
And I am Mariel.
I am Rona Cris M. Davao.
And we are the Group 6.
Our topic is about academic performance of senior high school students at Laak Institute Foundation Incorporated under New Normal, a phenomenological approach. We come up to this study because we all know that globally, COVID-19 pandemic has enforced higher education to adopt emergency remote teaching as a substitutions for traditional face-to-face classes. Under New Normal, students has a lack of motivation, then lack of gadgets, poor internet connection, and experiencing stress.
According to Dr. Bang, 70% of the high school adolescents between the ages of 13 and 15 have at least one attempted suicide. 12% have acknowledged to taking their attempts seriously, and 11% have begun to develop plans for how they will carry out. This research attempts to shed light on students' problems and predicaments in the middle of the pandemic.
Furthermore, many students struggle to study at home and to do online learning due to the lack of motivation and as well as social media and gaming distraction.
The purpose of our study is to investigate the impact of transition to online learning and modular learning on the academic performance of students is to aim to address the difficulties or challenges that students encounter due to the pandemic as well as their academic performance. Mental health and coping mechanics identify the factors that can provide ways on how students help themselves and improve their academic performance.
So this is our research question. First, what are the factors affecting the academic performance of senior high school students under new normal environment? Second, how do senior high school students cope with the challenges of online learning? Third, what is the academic performance of senior high school students in the new normal environment? We choose these questions because we know that there are many factors that can affect the academic performance of students under new normal, like having poor connections, lack of determination, lack of time, and etc.
According to Lazarus and Folkman, in order to manage stressors considered to be greater than their personal resources, it was argued that coping is a process including both cognitive and behavioral reaction that people use. Those that perceive issues engage in problem-focused coping according to Lazarus and Folkman's theory. And these are problem-focused coping, emotional-focused coping.
This research is important because we can gain deeper understanding of how senior high school students are coping with the new normal environment and how it is affecting their academic performance. The findings of the study can help educators and policymakers develop effective strategies to support students in this new normal and improve their academic performance.
Our study may be limited by the number of participants as well as their willingness to share their experiences. Our study focuses on the experience of senior high school students under new normal, which allow for a more in-depth exploration of their experience. Additionally, our use of a phenomenological approach allows for a more nuanced understanding of their experience.
In a study by Alviar et al. 2021, senior high school students reported that online learning has affected their motivation and engagement in their studies. They also reported that they miss the social interaction and personal connection they had with their teachers and classmates. And in a study by Annual 2021, senior high school students reported that the pandemic has brought students new opportunities for learning and personal growth. Students reported that online learning has allowed them to develop new skills such as time management and self-discipline. They also reported that the pandemic has taught them the importance of resilience and adaptability.
Our studies focus on explaining the subjective experience. two perspectives of the student regards to their academic performance under new normal. A phenomenological approach is a qualitative research method that seeks to explore the lived experience of individuals in particular situations.
This situation is the part of everyday lives of the senior high school, and we, the researcher, notice that there are different perceptions of students about the particular situation as well as their experience towards it.
So our target for this study are those senior high school students who are currently experiencing the new normal education. We have 3 participants and they can provide detailed and reflective accounts of their experiences and perceptions of academic performance in this context.
So we, the researchers, organize and arrange the interview logically to make the flow interview on the discussion well organized. We send a consent to the interviews and letting the respondent sign the agreement and the approval letter.
According to Murphy 2011, this also increased the credibility of the research, and according to Krystle 2008, to enhance the accuracy of study, the triangulation of data should be done.
According to Kaiser 2009, maintaining the confidential data from the respondents while revealing their personal life is challenging for the researchers.
According to Jane, narrative analysis is the technique utilized for data analysis. The gathering and serve as the first step in analysis, yet because narrative analysis lack a predetermined framework. Categorizing the informant's responses, researchers hope to include out notion to produce a data variation that is more generic.
Findings are based on participants' responses and not any potential bias or personal motivations of the researcher. Make sure that researcher bias does not skew the interpretation of what the researcher participants said. First, credibility. We, the researchers, will confirm confidence upon the truth of the data required. Second, dependability. Confirm that the data gathered are consistent. Third, confirmability. We make sure that the data gathered is shaped only by the participants and not under influence by the researcher's bias, motivation, and interest. Fourth, transferability. We confirm that the data gathered are applicable in other contexts.
When conducting our research, it is important that we prioritize the safety and privacy of our participants. We ensure that they are fully informed about the research and what it entails and their rights are protected. We ensure that research is conducted with integrity and that the results are reported accurately and honestly. We ensure that our research is conducted with transparency and accountability. And this is the results of our research.
We all know that new normal is hard for us as a student because it has many changes, especially in educational learning system. Many students say that modular is hard because you can't understand easily the topic of the module. But they still doing their best and doing self-learning even though they have a lack of knowledge.
They motivate themselves always throughout the challenges that they face. When it comes to online learning, many students suffer, especially to those who has in the rural. Are because in the rural area, the internet is very slow, but we all know that internet can help us every time like to our homeworks. But most of the students are addicted to the online games and social media, so they can't answer their modules. But many students do their responsibility as a student, including the researcher.
They want to improve themselves, the quality life they have, and gain experiences that they could possibly use in the future. To the student, treat the time for studying and balance your time responsibly. To the future researcher, increase the number of the participants to obtain more accurate results.
Teachers, motivate your students to pursue and reach their dreams. For them to never give up and surpass all the challenges they encounter. To the parents, still guide your child by providing special time and making them feel valued. This builds their abilities and strength.
I am Rona, Cris, M. Davao.
Yakado,